Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and welcome to a Mortal Kombat video. I haven't done one of these in such a long amount of time, and it feels great to go back to where I started. Now with Injustice 2 drawing to a close, the next big game we're all kind of expecting from NetherRealm Studios is Mortal Kombat 11, as the studio kind of does have a reputation for putting out a new game every 2 years. And due to the massive success that Mortal Kombat X did have, it would not at all surprise us if it was just around the corner, trailer-wise anyway. That leads to the main topic of this video. What can we expect in terms of story? What kind of characters will turn up? What can we kind of expect to see here? Well, this video here is going to go into the multiple options that we do have and kind of break them down so you guys get a little bit more insight on what we can actually see here. Now, at the end of Mortal Kombat X, we were left with the cliffhanger of Dark Raiden demonstrating his power by throwing the severed head of Shinnok at the feet of a revenant Liu Kang and Kitana, who at this point are in fact the new rulers of the NetherRealm. At this point, we learn of Raiden's new no bullshit attitude, where he clearly establishes here that if anyone attacks Earthrealm, the realm he's protecting, then he will eliminate them as an enemy. So Raiden at this point in time has seemingly taken on a bit of an anti-hero persona that can almost be seen as villainous. And there's a reason I say that, and I'll get into it in a bit. Now in terms of timeline, we've done Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 4, meaning that the next game in the original timeline was in fact Deadly Alliance. But since this rebooted universe is clearly going in a very different direction, in what ways could it line up with the original? Because Shang Tsung and Quan Chi at this point in the canon are in fact dead. Not that death really means anything in the Mortal Kombat universe, but there's clearly a space here that does need to be filled, and that's possibly a role Kitana and Liu Kang could fill. Now since we're still talking about story elements, let's talk about arcade ladder endings. And no, not every single arcade ladder is accurate, but there's no denying that arcade ladder endings do in fact hold some truth to them, and somewhat echo what we can see in the game. And what we do see a lot of heavy emphasis on in these endings is a war breaking out between Outworld and Earthrealm, with Raiden in fact leading the attack opposing to Outworld normally doing it, meaning that this Dark Raiden form may possibly mean we might have a Mortal Kombat game that's played from the Outworld perspective, which would be very different and quite unique from a storyline perspective, as we don't really play as the other side unless the story kind of needs us to like explore a particular plot device. Plus the villainous tendencies that Raiden kind of gives off at the moment might be a way of writing him to be the actual villain of this game. Of course, that's one of many ideas. We also need to take into account what happened in the Mortal Kombat X comics, which is a prequel to Mortal Kombat X, where we do get quite a lot going on with Prince Goro. After he's had his arm severed by Kotal and is somewhat seen as an outcast by the Shogun, Goro would seek out the Red Dragon clan as they worship the Dragon King Onaga, and Onaga was known for his amazing regenerative abilities. So it seems like Goro has struck a deal with the Red Dragons that allows him to regenerate his arm, but there may be more going on here, as Deception doesn't take place long after Deadly Alliance, so Goro could be the new vessel for the Dragon King. Plus we don't know if Mortal Kombat 11 is just going to be Deadly Alliance, as it could go off in its own direction, or it may be a mix of Deadly Alliance and Deception, so we don't quite know. But considering that Mortal Kombat 9 was a mash of the first 3 games, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Now let's talk about the validity of each of these ideas. A new Deadly Alliance consisting of Kitana and Liu Kang is indeed viable, but at this point in time, I don't see why the two would attack Earthrealm, especially after the whole Raiden turning Shinnok into a vegetable thing. I think Raiden's clearly got his point across, but he does mean business. Now in saying that, the whole Liu Kang and Kitana thing could in fact just be a subplot and a way of kind of opening up the game. So if they do feature in the story in this way, I don't expect them to play a massive role. Plus you need to take into account the popularity of these two characters and that whole mysterious Jade Revenant plot thread not kind of being wrapped up yet. Now we come over to the one that I do think is viable for this game, and that is the clash between Outworld and Earthrealm, which has been hinted at multiple times in arcade ladder endings and does line up with Raiden's new MO. With this whole kind of no tolerance attitude, I could see him setting his eyes on Outworld because on numerous occasions even before Kotal's control, Outworld has always been an issue for Earthrealm. So by removing a possible problem, it makes the future a lot easier to deal with. So I could see this being a very interesting premise for the game. Plus it could be a Mortal Kombat tournament where in fact Outworld have to defend their home from Earthrealm, which would be quite a fun new twist, which also lines up to Raiden in the other timeline, where when he does become Dark Raiden, he goes from murderous protector to villain. So we may see some of the influence from the original timeline take place here, putting him at the forefront of the game as possibly the main villain. Now the Onaga plotline I've talked about from earlier is clearly something that's definitely in the pipeline. It may not be something that happens in this game, but it's pretty safe to say that it's guaranteed guaranteed for the next one. For this kind of whole Naga story arc, I see there being a lot of build up so that the payoff will be very good. Now in saying that, do I think the chances of him making it in this game are quite high? I'd say it's definitely a possibility, but not one that's very high, as the villain would somewhat come out of nowhere if you haven't read the comics, and it does seem like at the end of these new games, the after credit sequence gives us an idea of what we can expect in the next game. So for now, I'm gonna say that Dark Raiden and the Outworld / Earthrealm battle is the most viable idea we have on the table. But in saying that, it is just an idea. Now down in the comments below, let me know what you guys are currently thinking. And if you have an idea of your own, honestly, feel free to express it, as I've only put 3 in this single video. So there's a lot of ideas we can really kind of work with here. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this. It's been really refreshing for me to kind of come back to Mortal Kombat after I've definitely taken a break from it. And yes, you can expect to see more videos regarding Mortal Kombat in the future, as well as possibly some redone history of ones. Now, before this video wraps up guys, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of helping out this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell. So by giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And if you want to go the extra step, we also have a Patreon set up, and a link for that will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.